Hello.
Mira's doing a fun Zomboid stream. I want to be in two places at once.
Ah, I see. We could rendezvous in like about a time.
Hmm?
We can rendezvous so we're not like trying to fight for views or something.
What do you mean? No,
Well, right
because
now,
it's two completely different things. Besides, this is a personal game we do just for like our sake, right? Totally for no one else. Well, if anyone else enjoys it, it'd be nice, you know. It's not like I want other people to enjoy our content. Ha! Fred got an ad. Fred didn't hear my embarrassing declaration or anything like that.
that's true. I also got an ad.
God damn, I hate ads.
Ads kind of suck.
Ads suck. I wish I could turn them off, but I can't. Hi, Fred. How's it going?
Welcome to Career
Holy
Day.
Grail Wish Cup D&D game. Also, check out Mira.
You're a Minecraft
Playing.
addict.
Hmm?
Fred's a Minecraft addict.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cough. I'm glad that people are enjoying the server. I'm sorry about making you an addict. I've wanted to play as well, but like, golly.
You'll
Three
have
places
time.
at once. Playing D&D, doing the Zomboid stream with Mira, and playing Minecraft. Oh my goodness. Where's my split consciousness when I want it?
I don't know, but that sounds like such an endeavor. It also feels like I'm only getting a third of you.
At least it's not and ever.
Yeah, that place. I liked it.
Huh.
Andy Everson. Hmm.
So,
Well, we're finally here to do a little bit more of a Magic Wish Fight for a Wish Cup.
the cup wish of the domain of happiness, but not dread, with the wish cup in the World Series of Fairbro, Herebros, Gunbros Simulator
Yeah, 2037.
2037. Let's go.
Do you want to cue us up with the last time?
I thought we do this thing of like making the NPCs do it.
All
Damn
right,
it!
let's
There's no one
force.
doing a recap this time, is there?
No, 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 no. We'll force someone to have a recap.
No, we can't force it. That's just awkward. That's breaking
Yeah,
character.
it is breaking character. But we no one else wants to do it.
No, I'll do it. It's just like I like the other way more, but if it's not possible, then we shouldn't force it. Alright. Girl Azori Twan was like, "Grr, I'm the angry Azori. I'm gonna stab everyone because y'all aren't Wayne. My Wayne is the only Wayne, which is Caldoon and my bro, Alexander." And then everyone's like, and then we all showed up and we were like, "Hey, Izori, our ancestor. My name is Honra. I am the protagonist here." Stabbing things is pretty great, but not when it's yourself. Don't stab yourself. That means you've broken something and you've stabbed yourself. But Honra was like, "Let me tell you a story." So she spoke and told a story, and then it was always like, "What are you doing? It's not like I enjoyed your story or anything." Becca. And then Hora's like, "All right, Bay, I'm gonna leave now, and you're gonna talk to my broski." She leaves and immediately feels despair, and like my broski goes in, and then Kiku, my broski, played by Justin sometimes, half the time.
It's like a quarter of the time.
A quarter of the time. Kiku, who's played by Justin a quarter of the time, was like, "You will not get away with hurting my family. I will murder you if you try it." And it's always like, "Have some respect for your elders. I am your ancestor." And then Kiku's like, "I will disown you if you do anything to my family, or if you kill me." And Zori's like, "I'm a berserker, and I'm angry because I say so." And then Kiku shot her. And then Kiku hung her. And then Kiku shot her again, except the shooting was the floor. He hung Izori from the rafters. Then he popped down, cut the rope, and was like, looks like my time is up," and left. The interview process was like cancelled. A few people went up and talked to her, but she was like, "I was being angry because I didn't want to think about things." And she was like super cute tsundere who could have killed all of us at any moment of time. Hey, Alan, how's it going? It's going pretty good. Alright, we just did a recap. I'm gonna do it again for you. Old answer Esther Azori with, "Hi there, God, your head pats. Pff, pff, pff. Get that away from me." Ancestor Azori, angry. Me, storytelling. She's like, Sugoi, brother, gun. Izori was like, "No bueno," but Izori was hung from the rafters. Izori wasn't feeling good because lack of oxygen to face. Kiku, badass. Looks like my time is up. Left. And then everything was good from there. And then we hopped on the bus back home.
You just need someone else to show up for the recap to get even shorter. Zori, grr.
Vroom vroom. Grr. Ah.
My time is up. Room. Ah.
Looks like my time is up. Bye. I think I like the third recap the best. Are we all on the same page here?
Stopping an organization as at large does tend to come with repercussions. For this, Team Wayne, they have lost quite a bit of potentially necessary intel on locations, people, and more importantly, actions done. So upon returning home, that was an utmost priority to reestablish. While we did win over the powerful berserker Izori, most of the other servants seemed to vanish into the mists. Mixika and his
I am broken. Sorry.
welcome. They were still easy to find, as Mixika didn't seem to get involved with the war. Not fully. He was still preparing his career. Almost every other servant was hard to really locate, with the exception of one. That would happen to be Castor. She had no real need to hide. In fact, it was pretty sure that she didn't have any way of hiding. Her and her master, Hackgrab, they were very direct when it came to the mage world. Most mages, they understood the principles of the Holy Grail War and how it was really taking shape. But Kakarot, she had different plans in mind. And it had seemed that as a head, she almost seemed like she planned to dismantle Mage Society as we knew it. The last known report of her involves her moving into a school environment and executing everyone. Fairly hard to miss. On top of that, they weren't actually hiding either. No, 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 no. They were almost presenting themselves to be found. Like they wanted to initiate a war, to initiate somebody to fight back. This would be fine, of course. No, there's no world that this could be fine. None at all. Mages are non-mages. There is no way that that could be accepted. But how to even proceed against that? It was undoubtedly a trap. The mage world was responding in accordance. But soon enough, they even found out that fighting against such a force was unrealistic. The servants summoned in this war were much stronger than the first. Familiars able to cause widespread destruction no matter what kind of magecraft you possessed. And then Hafgard. And she was one of the most brilliant mage-centered people around. One of the strongest maguses whose magic was almost entirely unknown. What mage with any sort of wish to stay alive would challenge that? The only ones that could were in this war as now. I don't know if I lost your volume entirely. How long have I been speaking where no one can hear me?
I can hear you. Everyone else should be able to hear you as well.
Okay.
I was just, listening because I had nothing to say and I was eating a papple.
Okay, I gotcha. I was just like, I don't know if anything's happening. I'm paranoid.
I mean, is there anything else that needs to, what input do we have?
Well, I just didn't hear anything. Usually I hear like a bit of some sort of noise.
I was being respectful. You're right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate.
Yeah.
It was weird to see most of the other servants vanish as if they were nothing. The one that speculated to be Eshin, the queen of the underworld. She should be requiring a large amount of mana without a master. That should be making a bigger splash than it is. The one speculated to be Canis, well, she shouldn't be very stealthy to begin with. No, pretty much all other servants almost seem to go into hiding. With Kakrat being the main infantry. But dismantling Mage Society wasn't exactly the worst thing to happen. Kiku himself wanted to make sure that, above all else, that he was able to extract his daughter before Kakrat moved on to the only other remaining academy. Doing so, a meeting was once again called between the three heads, Yazu, Honra, and Kiku. The room they stood in now was their old maple oaken wood. Sentence doesn't make sense. A nice furnished table, beautiful lit candles, and a decent amount of sunlight. Oh,
Oh no, did the chair get deleted? Did the table get deleted?
no, it's down there.
Where is it? Perfect. 10 out of 10. I'm never redrawing that, ever.
I don't believe we can go up against Kakrat at the moment, nor would it be smart. However, we can't let her hit another school. And I doubt other mages will have any sort of pushing power.
No one else within the war should theoretically care about a school being targeted. And I assume that they would be waiting to see what their opponents are capable of. Does that sound about right?
Their goal seems to have changed, of course. I'm not quite able to put my finger on it, but whatever they presented themselves with, I don't know if it's entirely the cup that they're after. And the fact that no one else responded, well, that almost guarantees it to a certain degree. They're using their servant more as a tool to progress whatever their goals in society would be. The eradication of mages. There's very few places in the world that mages gather to procreate their knowledge. I think your worry would be right. However, what is the chance that this is also a trap? this would be a very targeted trap for you. She would have to know your daughter.
Oh no. Oh. So wait. Honra knows this lady, right? And what's a wisdom? Is a wisdom check to see if this person's targeting me? Or is it an int check to like history between us?
Well, she knows of your work, and she hates it.
There's no
You
way
can.
that she's doing it because she hates my work, right? I mean, no, she met Kiku before too, right? She hates Kiku as well.
She tried to ban him from school. She's actually like the district manager for school. This is like the principal walking in with a semi-auto. Like,
Oh, wow.
but the principal just happens to own half the military kind of thing. Because the principal is half the military. To mention just how messed up this is.
But
She tried. Yeah, no, she knows you. She hates you. She hates your work. She probably knows you're a mage. Because that's pretty self evident. And she knows that Kiku is a mage. And she knows that both her and Kiku go by the same last name, Suman. Out of everyone, she hates the family.
it's not possible she's targeting us, is it?
She's targeted us before.
Wait, when did she target us?
When she wrote all those vicious reviews about all your garbage work. When she actively tried to kick Kiku out of school. She literally tried to ban him from the premises.
Is she
And then
that petty of a
actively.
person? She'd use Grail War nonsense to. No, she's down with Mage Society, right? Please don't tell. Is she that type? She's that type of person, isn't she?
You've never met her. The most that Honor is aware is she's always been someone who's very anti-religion. Of course, we know the reason why. Because she worships a completely different religion comparatively to the rest of the world.
Yeah. Oh.
Whether or not she's that petty is a different question. But she still could be setting up a trap for sure. She's using a servant to bait you out. Who else would follow the call? From everything else you've seen, none of these big tops really care about the younger generation unless it's their own. The less mages is less competition and more power to them. The less special people are, the more special that the less are. Alan is right. I mean, why would you want to procreate lesser knowledge? It's a good question. In her case, she's probably just trying to tear it down. I suspect we have to work on two ideas. As the head, Catgrut, she should know, without a doubt, where young Miss Suman is taking her studies. The fact that she didn't target there first creates a sense of urgency. But it also means that it's not driven directly out of anger or hatred. If we take a look at this bio that you produced about her, the most we know is a bunch of petty mishaps, really only centered towards both of you. Two instances where she's managed to try and strong arm you off the premises. She's tried to sabotage multiple final papers, and even had many hands in bribery. And then there's all the work on your books. If I'm not mistaken, most of your books are written off of personal experience, and the other half is written off of, well, works you've already done, but remastered, correct?
She nods to that because I'm pretty sure that's true.
If we take a look, most of the negative reviews come off the remasterings. In other words, proper Wayne history events. I think it's without a doubt that she has put two and two together. She somehow knows about our extended history.
Or at least suspects it.
If only we knew more about what this monastery was. We can understand there's a hatred between it and Azori's kin. But there's no way that I can see Catgird following such a ancient, predated set of ideologies. This has to be more recent. I would suspect that if it was truly to be destroyed, perhaps it wasn't destroyed everywhere.
Atta! Atta! Sorry about that. Oh god.
Chill.
We've already picked Dee Dee's brain about the monastery, right?
The most we really got of the monastery, we haven't seen Dee Dee for a while. The most we got off the monastery is that they were enemies. They were the most leading faction in the entirety of the world. They were the ones who essentially got stomped by the beast known as the Tarask first. And we're aware that this caster, this one in particular, was the one who put the death to a retainer by the name of Sanzu.
There is a way that we may be able to lead them away from the school, foiling their trap, without it leading back to us. Although it be It could give us an upper hand in a fight, bringing her into our terrain, but it would be expending Azori as a fighting it would be relying on Azori to be able to win that fight. If the hatred runs deep, if we leak the information that Azori is staying within the church, we may be able to, 1, set up a situation where we hide them from other masters, and 2, be able to set our own trap and ambush for when they arrive at the church.
I don't believe us setting a trap is so good of an idea. We got lucky at the church, but it was still by grace of Lady Azori that we ended walking away. As much as your expert play was, well, masterfully done, in the end it wouldn't have ever led to a victory. These servants are many times more powerful. And we do not want to be getting anywhere close to near them.
I agree, especially with that power would kill. However, that's why we'd have to rely on Izori to fight it for us, and we just simply tip it into her favor, and not be there for the fight when it takes place.
This war is very much going to have to be fought between servants. So if we can set up a terrain good enough, I believe we could use Izori. At the current moment, Izori, however, isn't rather in a particularly prickly situation. We didn't have to worry about it much. But against a servant and a master with far more magical aptitude than Izori on her own, she's going to have to need to officially become a servant with a master. Even then, I don't believe that any of us have the capacity to supply her with enough mana. She'll simply run dry.
Oh my god, I just lost. We don't. There's one person that we do know who might actually have enough mana to keep her supplied properly.
Who's that?
Our fine patron from the First War.
Our only patron from the First War.
Yeah, I know. But it's nicer to say our fine. But
White
it might be
Horse
too soon
is a
to
proper
tell.
mage.
Hmm?
White Court is a proper mage. And people from this place. Their magic ability trumps our own.
It might be too soon to utilize it, but it is an option we have. Kind of like looking at the other two, because that was her idea. Like, if there's other ideas of like what to do, she's probably better things to do.
I do believe that plan actually has quite a bit of merit to it. It could be dangerous. However, we need to work quickly and covertly by getting Lady Whitecourt to be as the servant's master. It would give Zori a fighting chance. But it would have to be done quick. Because any chance of delay, well, they would be heading right towards Zori, while we would be extracting a prisoner right out of a trap. We'd need them to make the contract, and then we'd need Zori to win. It's still a better odd from what I see than if we were to use Lord Rahili. Or even Lady Dyer. As powerful of mages as they can be, nothing would beat a full-bred mage from the White Court family line. Except, of course, a complete monster devoid of humanity.
Things about Karamakune is like, no, technically Karamakune ain't that.
That's the problem. We may have summoned a very good servant, but if we can't provide them with adequate power, then they're nothing more than a low rank.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check to see if it's possible to have multiple people to apply a single servant. Like, each person gets part of the command spell. And I'm proficient. That's a +4, +3. So then that is a +7.
Very unlikely.
Cool.
It'd be more likely to pump someone with some sort of magic stimulant, like a performance-enhancing drug, or just pump mana into them and have their capacity be increased like a credit limit.
But that would be dumb.
It would surprisingly be safer than trying to find a way to split the load.
Yeah, I guess so. I'd prefer that outcome than turning one of us into a mana junkie.
I was thinking back to the moment where we originally encountered Grexian. At the household. If you remember, Lady Didi was able to get uncovered rather easily. I don't believe that was coincidence. Nor do I believe that's her specialization as the ruler being diminished. I think that might be a mana problem.
Oh, Hora's gonna have to turn into a mana junkie, won't she?
It's a thing that we kind of, and by we I mean me as well, we've kind of been forgetting about. We can summon Saber, but if we're only as good as Shiro, then Saber's gonna get pretty much screwed.
I suppose it is time for me to invest in more mana potions and different enhancements then.
Or we just need to find a way of playing better.
Theoretically, there are ways to, like, naturally increase it by, like, just exercising your magic, right? Especially because her arms were, like, chopped off and her arms aren't where she kept most of her mana.
There's ways of, I mean, at this point I'm thinking it's probably transplants. The major problem we're fighting right now is we're fighting people who have become monsters, who are like level 10 creatures. Not only do they beat us in potency, but they'll beat us in a potency we'll never be able to achieve.
Yeah.
The scary statement here is becoming a monster. It's not just chugging potions. It's harvesting someone's magical capacities in order to enhance your own.
Arcana. Would aviaries work with me? Hold on, it's not rolling. There we go, 23, perfect. Oh, I hate it. Oh no.
Narratively speaking, yes.
Narratively speaking.
Magically speaking, anyone should be able to work. Biologically speaking, Honor doesn't know.
Honra probably, like, leans forward on the table, like, elbows on the table, kind of, like, in contemplation, slight bite lip. Bit of a tapping foot.
So we play more strategically. And that's why. You couldn't quite deliver it to us, but that's why we don't stand as much of a chance. And that's why Mixika stands a better chance than us. Mixika isn't human, is he? No, I don't believe that's true. None of our enemies are human. It simply didn't make much sense. But when you look at Mixika, he has an abnormal amount of magical capacity. Gakret. Riskier. The late Kitili, Grexian. The similarities between all of them is augmentation and enhancement. From what I can tell, even Lawrence, even he, had turned himself into a magical regent of sorts.
Did he say Cacrat?
Kakrat was included in that. I suspect it's true from Malik as well. As it stands, we're the only humans at this table.
Was it confirmed that Cacrat was? Couldn't she have gone after the school to also fuel her servant better?
Between magic children and normal children, one of them is much easier to obtain in greater quantities. The other makes her an enemy of the mage world. Unless it was preference. The monastery's a group of faith, isn't it? That means that Kakrat may have seen mages as a whole as unworthy. Normal people can still be converted. Mages are too caught up in their own heads. She knows, because she was one of them. I don't doubt that she gained a good amount of magical prowess through them. But at this point, assuming that she is human is much more of a folly. If she happens to still be human, then I'd best have our cards in our hand, ready to spike her down should she be a monster. Very well. I'm going to go reclaim my daughter.
It sounds like we're going with the plan we talked about earlier. I'm going to see about a way I may improve my own magics.
Be careful. Whatever you do. As Kiku makes his way to the door, moving out without a second thought. I don't doubt it will work. I don't doubt that one bit. But know it will cost you, whatever you're planning. Power at the expense. It is a word to describe any bit of power, small or great, will always be charged back somehow.
For our strategy to work, and to get the best results, this needs to be done, right?
If you are willing to give up almost everything for the sake of this dream, I cannot promise you won't regret it. But yes, the other ways are much harder. You know that this perfect world, you may not have a place in it when you're through.
I'll let you know whether or not I end up going through with my plan. Because the truth is, I'm not willing to go through anything. But I'm willing to go through a lot more than I should, probably, to a normal individual. But the line I decide to draw is that with friends and family. And they would be sad if something bad happened to me, so I can't necessarily self-sacrifice either. I assume she would stand up at that line.
Whatever you decide, keep me informed so that I can better create our vision.
Feel free to stop me if I go too far as well.
I'll stop you before you make a mistake that I've made once long ago.
Oh yeah, there's so many inhuman people around.
Mm-hmm.
We'll win this war as humans. And there is a path for us, like that.
If that is what you decide. It won't be easy. But everyone's been fighting far too hard to rediscover what it means to be human. Placing his own cup down and chattering it against little plate.
There's a sense she doesn't feel like she needs to say it out loud, but she's not going to regret a loss if she's human.
Now let's go exercise some of that humanity, shall we?
I got a aviator. As he tries to take me somewhere completely different.
You go to the
He has no clue what I'm
carnival,
talking about.
you're just on the Ferris wheel, like, what does this have to do with harvesting Avier's magic circuit?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go to the big top.
He said he doesn't know. Okay, should I break the aura of mystery? Like, breaking the aura of mystery is a human thing. I'm gonna break the aura of mystery. I'm not talking about forsaking my humanity, by the way. I just didn't necessarily want to say that I was thinking about. I'm gonna say after I confirm with Avi or something. In case it doesn't go through, I don't want to speak it out loud. Tries to break the aura of mystery, but can't.
Please don't tell me you're going to try and implement Avier's magic circuits on top of your own.
I mean, it was a thought, but the thing that matters the most to me about that is how she feels. It's not in a weird way. I wouldn't do that if there was another choice, but that shouldn't be putting me too far gone, and her magic circuits were like spinal column, brain, and all that, right? It was the main body, wasn't it?
He had a lot of body stuff.
A lot of her circuits were that of the body.
But you already know what she's going to say.
What is she gonna say, Honra thinks? Because I don't know Avia well enough.
Honra knows that she's going to say no. She's going to say absolutely not. You're not going to mutilate your own body in order to gain unlimited power. That's not how, like, no. She's going to argue that, yeah, it might be logical, but that doesn't mean that that's not normal. That's just messed up. And she's probably going to say, oh, Honra, you remind me of a villain you wrote in a book that literally was based around salvaging people for parts. And then probably relate it back to one of her own experiences of being salvaged for parts. That's probably going to induce a whole lot more like stress. But Avier will totally understand it in the end because no, what are you kidding? Old Honra would have totally expected Avier to understand that. No, new Avier is not going to understand that. That's logic brain getting a little bit ahead of herself. It's like the exact opposite of what Avier would accept. This isn't like Honra is missing a kidney and she needs a transplant. This is Honra wants 4 kidneys to gain unlimited magic circuits. Like, Avier is not going to be down for that at all. And she'll probably
Yeah,
judge you.
like Homegirl doesn't like the idea either, but like, okay. I just imagine just like a shaking of head and like just trying to get her head straight. Is it going too far though?
It is. Not quite as far as you could go, but farther than you'd be happy with. I know a part of you deep down feels like there's a certain sentiment to it. But I believe that the idea of mismatching parts, that was something that Avia was far more fearful of before it happened. And that fear isn't unjustified. When you start placing implants like that, even if they are human implants, you start becoming a monster. There was a demon back where I was from. What it would do is it would graft different body parts onto itself until it became a large fleshy compound. But it would start off as human. The man I could think of in the story, his name was Ochikidea. Ochikidea. He did not have enough courage, and so he figured that borrowing a heart would give him more. And so he took the heart, still beating, from another man, one bold and courageous. He swallowed it whole, and in the next morning he could feel 2 hearts beat in his chest. He was more courageous than both of them combined. One day, he found that the drink had gotten a hold of him far too heftily. And so, he found the most potent drinker in town. One who was said to be able to drink 5 times the amount of a normal man. And he consumed his liver. Suddenly, drink was nothing to him. He found he needed a third hand, and so he did the same. He needed more smarts, more magic. He was said to have been the first of his kind. But he became a demon. Not after the second nor third, but the first. No man should ever have two hearts.
You're right. It was my insecurities that got a hold of me there. You should really consider becoming a storyteller, though. You were very good at it.
I do appreciate your constant prayer. And the praise that comes with it. But you are far more an eccentric and interesting storyteller to listen to than I. You honor me with your words, each time.
I still feel like I should apologize to Avier.
Just perhaps don't bring up the point of swallowing her heart.
Sorry, what?
Just don't
swallowing
bring
her
up the
heart,
point
you
of
said.
swallowing her heart. The intrusive thought doesn't always have to come out on top.
Yeah. Uh, she has nothing she can do for the setup. Is there? She came up with a plan, but there's like nothing for. Let me know if there's something I can do to assist with the trapping or communication. I don't know if illusions will be that helpful, but it is possible for me to stand by the sidelines, although I don't think it's worth the risk.
I think that for the next little while, you have a very important job. As Yazoo reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a carefully folded piece of paper. Looks like it's tied with a small strand of string and plastered down with a piece of wax.
Oh! I take the paper.
On your own time, of course. For now, I have to get back to doing general things.
Good luck.
He nods and walks away.
If we were in a huggy culture, I'm sure that would have been a hug. Oh my goodness, how adorable. Aww.
You can't hug him, he's married.
Is that a rule in our... Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. So you're gonna find your way to Aviar?
Yeah, might as well. The only reason I want to do this conversation is because I have metagaming knowledge.
I see. You're letting your intrusive thought win.
Listen, we both know that those magic circuits are Honra's.
She's just reclaiming what's rightfully hers.
Exactly, and once Yazoo knows that, he's gonna be okay with it.
Ah, Honra. Was there something I could help you with?
Nothing that important right now. If you're busy.
No, I needed a break.
What was she doing? Where is she? How's she doing? Oh my goodness. I haven't read the letter, have I? Goddamn, why didn't I read it on the hallway?
Aviar, she's fairly well off. I mean, she's been handling a lot more of the paper stuff as of recently. She has her own desk. It's this beautiful mahogany like wood. Got this nice little like pillar aesthetic to the side of it. Her room's filled with binders and filing cabinets, and she looks like a real working person who owns something important.
She is looking like a lot better, right? Is she still scarred?
Well, she can speak normally now. Don't get me wrong, she's not. It's gonna be a while for her to fully heal up, anyways. But she no longer needs to be on sepulcher alert, life alert.
Aww, that's so good.
As she nicely puts a piece of paper in a book, putting it off to the side. She gestures to sit down.
Have you been enjoying your work? Although you don't have to go into the details.
It's been hard, but it's not been bad. Staying busy has been a blessing.
Bring her down here.
Okay, fine, I'll bring her down here.
Wait a second, that's not the right person.
You just said her. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Hi, Xavier.
Her could be anyone. How have things been with you? At least getting back into the swing of things.
A few moments of falling back into old thought process and tendencies, but in the end, I've stayed away from that.
Xavier looks relieved. That's really good to hear. Especially because you seem so happy now. It's okay to accept your past, but I don't think being consumed by it would be healthy.
I appreciate the concern, but oh, I think I'm doing all right most of the time. This is embarrassment. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why I'm dying right now. Think. Okay.
Awkward silence.
No, I don't know there's awkward silence or not.
There's a moment of awkward silence. So, you, what was your opinion on Lady Azori?
In a strange way, I found her admirable, actually. I know that our lives were in danger, and after the situation, I realized how messed up it was. But she was like a storybook, right? What was that one? Oh, golly. It's been so long.
Azori was fully in control. She had every power, yet she wasn't so stubborn enough. Even as the Berserker class, she wasn't stubborn enough to just die by her own ideologies, nor just kill us out of dumb reason. She was just hard on us.
Although she was a berserker, she had full control over herself, and although the ordeal was hard, telling that story was actually kind of thrilling in some ways. Although I'd never go out of my way to get into another situation like that, where my life is on the line, it was a unique experience.
I think we can leave it as a unique experience.
What did Avia pretty much spoke to her and said, "You suck, Azori," or what was her thing?
Hey, Zori, you're cute. Can we cook together?
Hmm?
Hey, Zori, you're cute. Can we cook together?
Oh, right! Your interaction with her after the fact was a lot more accepting than I expected. What's your opinion of her?
Worse than trash.
Worse than trash.
He did have a reaction to that.
Hmm?
No, I thought she was. She had a sense that her authority made everything who she was. And that is kind of sad to me.
Hmm.
She wanted to be so much more, but was trapped. And she convinced herself that that's what she wanted. And I felt
She
bad
lost.
for her.
She has lost sight of what she truly wants, and that's family.
I don't think she's lost sight of it. She's just hiding behind it. trying to push it forward in the only way I think she knows how.
Definitely, like, contemplates that for a moment or two. I never brought up the whole idea that has more empathy for the weak than the strong, right?
Who?
Aviaire. I Something I've noticed recently about you, and I don't know if it's true or not, but you seem to, well, I don't want to say lack, but in comparison, you seem to favor the weak rather than the strong whenever you feel empathy towards people.
There is no strong people. It's only pride that makes people think they are. Pride or pain.
Because before we met her, Aviaire was a lot more like, she's a horrible person, how could she be doing this? Because she's like had the power in the situation, though, more or less, right?
Aviaire was not a terribly big fan, but her main goal was she didn't want to run people into her like cannon fodder and watch them all get mercilessly slaughtered.
Yeah.
She didn't want all of us to run in for Judgment Day and then there's to be 12 heads rolling at the end just because, some crazy lady thought it was true.
Yeah.
Aviaire was having empathy for the fact that we were essentially, for all in accounts, walking to our deaths. She just prioritized her people over other people's people in the time being. Because that was the thing to do.
Perhaps I was mistaken, but while you were prioritized us over Izori, and then once meeting her, although Kiku almost died, you told him to apologize. Or that he should apologize.
I still think he should. Someone can be an enemy, and someone can lead to a lot of pain. But that doesn't mean that we have to take such cruel steps against them. I later found out that he was also trying to break her mentally, using phrases that would get under her skin, aggravating her. On one instance, he actually claimed that he would disown her and that she wasn't even worthy to be an ancestor. I didn't want us to all get slaughtered, but that doesn't mean that cruelty is right. I can all out help it. The people close to me are the people I'll prioritize, but I never wanted Izori to ever come into the epitome of torture.
So, what would have your been suggestion of what Kiku could have done differently to get past that situation? As a hypothetical, of course. Saying like, yeah, no actual weight right now, but like hypothetically speaking, what would have happened? What could he have done differently?
Find honesty. Zori wasn't under any sort of spell. That was already proven. With this hypothetical, I think we could have just spoken to her normally. Not played her game, nor tried to punish her for it. And not belittle her. We could have probably just talked to her. I think she would have seen that we were relevant and worthy if we didn't bow at her feet and beg for her forgiveness, nor tried to hang her. Xavier just touches her neck with her left hand. She's someone who's just in pain, who didn't want to look at the world. And you proved that she was sane. You proved that she was still a girl. It's nothing different than a heartbreak. She just lost something important to her. I think the way about going for it would have been to just simply be a friend.
I think Honora like does stand up in a bit of a pace of like just thinking about like taking in her words as she speaks.
But none of us would have properly been able to pull that off because we all foresaw her as being possessed by the berserker attributes. As much as on our part to see her as an enemy, an adversary, and a problem.
Surprisingly, I was actually similar to your thought process. Go in and speak to her. However, someone can be fully aware of themselves and fully conscious and be just a girl and still do horrible things, and things they'd regret.
Doesn't make it right.
Hmm?
That doesn't make it right, and that doesn't make my point any really more or less valid.
Could have like can nod to that. However, Kiku was being honest. That rage and anger he felt was true. You said he should be honest, and I would argue that he was being honest. He was being honest to himself, that he did not want any of us to die, and he would most likely have done things. Although he was angry, he was still in control of himself and fully aware of what he was doing.
He was not kind. Honesty is important. But being civil's important too. He was angry and he provoked a fight. There's no way that he didn't know that he was provoking a fight there. I'm sure the two of them will make amends. I hope they do at least.
I don't think I want a world filled with only kindness.
That was the world you came from.
Hmm?
It was the world you came from.
And I cannot quite imagine what that would look like. A world where people are kind. A lot of my growth has been through strife and difficulties and anger and a bunch of things that don't involve kindness, but there's kindness as well.
Xavier seems to take it back,
Hmm?
realizing her own words mixed with Hanra's, and they create a point. Back in when she was growing up, Hanra, she was she was the cruelty of her entire life story. Wayne was Honor lived in an entire existence of kindness. She actively caused all of her cruelty. But then when the world started being cruel to her here, that was when Honor ended up finding her kindness. It's almost like her very being contrasted that which she was being dealt. But it wasn't an extreme. Something that Honra could pick up on was that when Avier mentioned the old world, she used the term your.
Oh, she was saying my world was filled with kindness, didn't she?
Your world was filled with kindness before. Honra's not entirely fully sure what that means. Either Avier dissociates herself from the original world, or that Avier did not live in a world of kindness.
Oh, how juicy. I'm leaning forward. Honra probably pivots from her away from Avier and stands next to her. You said my world was filled with kindness. Insight, not the malicious kind.
Alright, you insight full of malice.
Nat 20, let me look at my friend.
There's a certain point of guilt. There's a certain point of anticipation. Avier's going to drop a truth bomb. She's going to say something pretty damn spicy.
I think Honra sits down across Avier again and holds her hands. Getting into a comfortable position of encouragement and support without being overbearing.
Before we came here, no, we were not friends. Nothing we did was friendship. Nothing we did was caring about each other. We were like acquaintances that just knew each other. You did everything make my life better. But every single time you looked at me, it was like I was just a piece to fill a point that you didn't have. Not as a friend, but just as many ways a tool. We never went out, we never did anything, we never sat around and simply told stories. You never said it, but you never ever even came around. Unless you wanted something. I told myself that we were friends. And you mentioned that I was like your other half. Not in a way of a friend, but in the way that you wanted to control. You wanted my opinion because it interested you, not because you cared about it. By making me have everything I could ever want, all you were doing was making yourself feel like you were doing something good. Until we came here, that was the only time that I started to feel a hint of friendship. The only time that you took interest in me beyond just being a story. Cute little character to add here and there. We only ever became friends here. Because you never had any friends back at home. You only had Mitsuki. You barely had Kiku. And then you had a bunch of dolls put into a little house. I know that's how you felt. You could never have hid that from me. You hid it from yourself very well. You couldn't have ever hid that from me.
I'm truly sorry how I treated you. I, if you're willing to hear it, I want to give you my perspective through all of it, but you are right in many of it, and that is why I wish to be here now. Not just as an apology, but it's the one thing that I can think to do as an apology. I'd be doing it either way, but I won't. I don't want to go too far.
You're here now. You're here now. And that.
Will you listen to my how I lived in the past?
Yeah.
To me, you were always somebody. You had something I could never achieve. I didn't think I needed it, but after the first time you made me apologize, you made me realize that I wasn't enough as a high priestess. You made me realize that I needed you. I needed what you represented. The ability to empathize and feel what other people could feel. I thought I would never get to feel again. I had always planned to try and get you to become my retainer because I wanted to do the best I could. Swallows. You're right that I thought, I didn't think, but I felt I was friends with everyone, all of the retainers, not because I earned it though. I took everyone for granted. I knew what retainers were supposed to be. I knew that they were friends. I just didn't think or realize I had to actually do something about it. I thought, they're my retainers, of course they're going to... Of course we're going to have a bond that's unbreakable. Even though I was so eager to break it myself. I thought we were friends just because I didn't know what friendship was. Oh god, Tortor's being at a loss for words right now. She never has that happen as a storyteller.
Just start quoting the nearest scripture. You'll be fine.
I had a plan for you, but I never wanted you to follow it if it wasn't it. I was just overconfident. I assumed that of course you would come along if you wanted to. I had my goal to be eternal, and because you were you, I knew I could not control you. I didn't want to control you, but I wanted you to come along to whatever eternal afterlife that awaited. I thought I'd be okay with letting you go if you said no, but at the same time, while you were alive, I wouldn't have been able to let go. It's the exact same thing that I did before. I put all the pressure and weight onto you. I'm Manju, oh no. That's that realization of, oh shit, I was doing the Manju thing. No, she's kidding, right? Like, wisdom check, reflection. Is she actually Manju? Was she doing the Manju thing? 18?
Friends without bonds. Servants without care.
Was I worse than Manju?
Honra. If she saw herself of old right now, no, she couldn't. She couldn't be worse.
Manju was at
Andrew
least
would have been better.
trying to get better. Head on table. Manju was actually like, no, because Manju was like trying to get better. The whole idea of Manju being the worst, which that was probably not the best thing to do, was the idea that he started at the bottom, he was ruthless, he had a wish for annihilation, but he was in many ways still trying to get better. He found hope. He was working with Wayne. He became a retainer. He never fully gave in to demonic presences. And the
You
point
made
is,
him evil.
I made him evil.
So what does that make you? Manju lived on food stamps not because he was irresponsible with money, but because you told him he was irresponsible with money. Manju lived in borderline poverty, not because he deserved it, but because he was told he deserved it, because he needed to overcome it. Manju had been working his entire life to make himself better. Honra pushed him down so that he could struggle to get better, when all he was ever doing was struggling. Manju has boundaries. He swindled people, but he never told them lies. He never lied to who he was, and he admitted he wanted to be better. Honra figured that she was as she was. She couldn't grow. She wouldn't grow. The things she wanted from Avier, she just had in Avier. She didn't need them. She was static. She was fine with being static. She would work towards her static goal. Well, as Manju continued, if you didn't keep pushing him down and breaking his legs, Manju would probably even surpass Eric. The two of them would have made each other stronger. Eric would have maybe been able to grow. But Manju, at the rate he was growing, he would have been able to make actual friends. And maybe not soon, Manju might have even made a better high priestess.
Manju was a better person than I was.
And you were. Not than you are now. Manju may have been a little bit creepy, but that he had actual boundaries. And they were getting better. I would have given him a chance in maybe a couple years.
I'm the reason he was how he was in this war, how he was summoned. I'm the reason why he was like that. Her eyes are tearing up, like mine are.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I was a coward not to tell you you were right. I've been a coward my entire life. I don't know what came over me that day, all those years ago. I don't even know why I stepped in. It was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. But until coming here, I was so weak, and I'm still pretty weak. My weapon is named after me. The original name was the Sickle of Restoration. It was called the Wimp's Sickle. So I was too content with just going with the flow, hoping that one day that things would change. I was living a good life. I never told you anything. I didn't know how you would react when you learned. I didn't know if you would even care. We're both different people now. Even if my youthful naivety still very keen to what you remember. We are different people. And these people are friends.
Aww. That's me yawning, not Honra. Honra smiles.
That world was your world. Was your world. I don't want to go back to it. Because this one is ours. Next one will be ours too.
Oh my goodness. Honra looks up of like, oh, she's actually like saying the next one? Like, because Honra was faltering there.
I still don't like the idea. But I'll admit that I can be wrong.
am I am happy here. I don't think I'll be happier over there, but I don't think I'll be sadder. But it's a wish.
Wish has never been anything to me if you can't make it with your own hands. But it's not your wish. Not fully. The wish of something that tried to save everyone and couldn't save anyone. It's the borrowed dream. One that's so beautiful. Borrowed dream to save everyone. Final dream of a god. His high priestess.
I hope it's alright for me to say this, but I know it's unrealistic to expect everyone to be there. And I'll probably continue to tell people that. But to me right now, it's not about whether or not we succeed, it's about trying. I'm not the only one who has that wish. You're right that it's not my wish, but it's not just the God of Eternal Service's wish either. It's not the Low of Living's either. We share it, but there are people like Yazoo who believe in that wish. In the end, if I was being logical, I'd want to protect everyone from outside forces. I'd want to set up a safety net But that's not my wish. Do you think it's okay if the God of Eternal Service doesn't come with us? Sorry, she should have said Law of Living. Can we retcon that? No, don't retcon it.
I think it's probably already guaranteed that he won't. Because I think this is.
Sorry,
I think this is his final resting place.
And what about me? What if I wasn't there as I am now?
I wouldn't want that. But in truth, I don't think any of us are going to be there. I don't think any of us are going to move on to the new world. Because we were the guardians of the old one. I think when the world is re-originated, the only chance we'll have to see each other is to be reborn.
I would have liked to meet everyone again. Smiling. But I guess we just have to see if that is possible or not.
My father said one thing before he left to sail to the west with my mother. Before he became a deserter. He told me the apocalypse was right. It was right. It was also wrong. I could not accept that. It is right now. Our goals are the same as the apocalypse.
Sorry, was that last slide? I was grabbing a tissue and was away from my speaker for a second.
Our goals are the same as the apocalypse. Just now that we finally started to accept destiny. Instead of order, the world will be reborn in life and death, and living and dying. No matter what happens, I think I'll cry. But it's borrowed time, yes? I'm sure that Yazoo would be able to tell you more about that.
I'm kind of glad that I'm get to be the end. Or at least one of them. If I didn't get to see how the story ended, then I think I would just feel like the story's incomplete.
I have to finish up some things for Mr. Healy.
Right. There's still much work to be done.
Of course. Of course. We'll get together tomorrow morning to make breakfast.
Stupid Wayne called you not accepting hugs?
Oh, I'll see you tomorrow morning then.
I don't know if this is my bias or hold your bias. Give her a hug!
It's your bias.
That's probably my bias. Is it?
You cannot accept a culture that does not hug.
What is a compassionate thing for when someone's crying?
Salute.
Is it actually? You're messing with me, right?
No, if I was messing with you, I'd say stand on one leg, pull your other leg back, and no.
Is it actually? Don't tell me you were socio. What would Avier want? Does Avier have?
No, the correct motion in this for the comforting is more expressed through one's actual connection with gestures and speech.
So
One of the reasons that
personalized
one of the reasons Wayne doesn't like a hug, I learned this,
So it's personalized to the
is
person,
because
right?
a hug isn't personal. How can you be ever personal to someone if you can't look at their face?
Aww. Alright, so what's a personalized thing? Like putting your hand on her shoulder or something?
You've already done it.
Okay, perfect. Hand holding.
You've connected, not hand holding. You just connected with them.
Aww.
Just Wayne isn't like Wayne isn't so cruel as to be like there is none. But no, like all of their gestures, even their salutes, are so minor because you essentially are connecting with your essence. You don't give people hugs because you can't stare at their face. A hug means nothing. A hug is how you rob someone.
But it feels good. Okay, it's not. No, that's my bias. Don't worry.
Yes, that is personal bias.
I'm glad to finally be seeing eye to eye with you. Woo. No, yeah, that was way more powerful not hugging the person. Ugh.
Yes. Yes. Owner, I can feel her body getting up to leave.
Yeah. I wasn't saying anything just because I don't want to say. Ugh.
Taking a step out the door. Owner can feel herself shaking, but in a good way. And then a
I
bad
gotta check
way.
what Yazoo's note says. So.
And then a horrible way.
Huh?
Then Honra feels like she can't move.
Oh no. Is it
What's
death?
in the note? Come on, open it up.
Oh shit! It's death! Oh god! I turned my head to look at death, I assume? Can I go pee quickly? So I don't, piss myself in fear.
Go, go.
What?
Go, go.
Alright, thank you, Death Sign. I know, it would be awkward if I did, so thank you. Thank you very much for understanding. I'll be absolutely terrified when I get back.
Hello, and welcome to Questions Corner. We didn't know you were holding a tournament. Well, I'm a fish. Woof. It's kind of like a tournament. Think of it more like a Holy Grail war. My day's been fine, Alan. How are you? Are you well? Are you enjoying this episode? It's a podcast to most, I presume. But there's been many interesting things that have been transpiring. Yes. Very emotionally charged. Twos, 2v2s, 3v3s, 10v10s. What we doing? What we doing for the Ravens? Solo scuffle. I unfortunately haven't started season 2 yet. I had to peek off some of my honor gear. Didn't have enough to buy an entirely new set. That's God, none. They were so ready. I mean, like they were so ready for that. That's kind of funny. It's like I know. Normal people like us, we ain't gonna get up there. We ain't moving that quickly.
I have returned.
The funny part is with PvP gear, it's just honor gear and then probably the Drake Breaker set or whatever the new one's called. I forget the War Mode set. They probably just grab the right pieces, and no one else has gear. So I mean, they just get what they can, min max it, and play really well. But yeah, it's a little spooky. I think. Yeah. Yeah, but you could hit the suppression camps, and you could get There's skill. There's tons of skill. I know a guy who plays a rogue, and I mean, he was in last gear honor gear, and he took out like a full conquest. Still last season, but he took out a conquesty, like no issue. Just a little bit of a DPS race, but it's a skill. Gotta have skill.
Gotta have skill.
Onru can't move her head, but her eyes move to the corner of her vision. Dressed in deep gray,
Do we have a picture from?
suppressing. I don't have a picture from. Suppressing the world around him. Honor could only see his eyes. But on one part, she could see something that she would idolize as a part of herself. A part of her could also see Makune. But it went far deeper than that. Death. With one of his dangly, pale hands, he snatched the note from Honra's side. We'll read it together, why don't we? Let's make it fun. Oh, it's nicely signed. A good little wax engraving. Oh, I do love a good ambiance, too, reading these kind of notes. Dear Honra. Starts off well. I would have started with my beloved, or perhaps good friend. We've happened to find Oramos. I've been waiting for Oramos to come back. I love that guy. If he comes back, of course.
You know, I should go let him finish reading the note because he has more to read. I'm not gonna interrupt him.
It seems like he's made some good friends with a counter magic cell, hell-bent on killing everyone who has the power to use magic. Last time I checked on my watch, his kill count is well over 250. And that's beyond the bomb, of course. Well, he's making a rather good name for himself. Oh, and there's even a picture.
Cool, that's the end of the note, right?
That's the end of the note.
Other than the situation, I suppose it is a wonderful news that Ormos is still alive and well. I suppose you are death that I have heard about.
Nice to meet you. Everyone seems to be just calling me Miles still.
What would you prefer? Also, perhaps may we have a conversation not within this immediate range?
Of course. Stuffing the note just behind Honra's ear.
Yeah,
He takes
she
a step
definitely
back.
chills. Please tell me it gets a bit better.
When he hits around 20 feet, Honra can feel her body kind of spasm all at once. And then he takes a step forward, and there's nothing. He just walked back for the fun of it.
I appreciate it. Because now, she's still afraid, but she's not petrified, I take it?
Right, it's true.
Yeah, no, she's still shaking and stuff like that. What may I do for you today?
Oh, well, I've been experimenting a little bit. You know, I found out that killing a little priest of yours is rather annoying. Terribly so. He just lasts too long. So I got thinking, what if, because I'm death, of course, what if I play a little game? I don't have to kill people. I can actually be a little more abstract. Nemo was nice enough to make me the death of things. So I was playing with things like emotions and feeling. I'm pretty good at it. I'm very good at it.
Listening along and nodding. Blake, listening. She's not actually fearful of her losing her emotions, actually. That's...
And I was
good.
hearing. I was just overhearing a little conversation recently, and your friend seems rather beat up. Maybe we could alleviate some of that pain.
I would ask that you don't. That would be a tragic sort of outcome.
You're a little
Does he
less
look
fun than me,
disappointed in my
Noah.
response out of curiosity?
Less disappointed and more just moving on to Act 2.
You are death. If I'm... Your goal is... Did I hear, like, the death of everything, correct?
Just from what you know, the death of Wayne.
Your goal is the death of Wayne.
Oh, I've upgraded. I've upgraded. I'm thinking everything. You know, a good friend, Anima, actually convinced me of that.
In many ways, our goals align, even though my goals are not yours, and you would not accept that, most likely. But I am glad that you're at least enjoying the story so far.
No, I get a good holler. Good hoot.
I myself am... as you most likely are aware, a storyteller. So if you permit me, I will continue to tell this story for you, and in the end, it does not matter what happens afterwards, as long as I get to tell my final story, I will be... well, that is just a goal. You can kill me now, and I suppose I won't have any hard feelings over it. I will just be saddened about it. Unless you kill my emotions, then I will not feel anything. But my request, my humble request, is that you let me finish telling my story, if you so permit it.
Now Now that's what I missed with Azori. You know, rather compelling. Fear driven adrenaline into a story of your choosing. You're a very good storyteller. However, I've not been much for the arts. But at least you're thinking good about it.
I'm not. Wait, I mean, I don't know if he knows it.
I liked when you give ideas. I could take away your ability to cry. Maybe if I'm clear enough, I might be able to leave some. Uh, if I really wanted to make you suffer, I could. But you only have one, maybe two transgressions on you. So, there's a very good chance you'll make it to the end game. Congratulations. Though there's a young boy around here, about this tall. He's not going to be allowed to make it. It's just how it is.
Yes, probably referring to Tenko, I take it. His obvious one.
Those two are, well, first on the list. They don't have to come first, of course. They're Tenka Rahili, the priest Kata Makune, Yazu Bizelmith, and I'll even take the pink one.
I don't know what pink one he's referring to, do I?
There's only one pink one.
Wait, who's the pink one? Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah, right. But, I mean, I'm not a combatant to face death itself, but why? If you do not mind my prying.
Oh, the order's just because it's fun. If you want to blame anyone, well, this commandment was given to me by my dearest friend. Quite afraid can't stop it anymore. But you might as well enjoy the go.
Ooh.
Don't mind me. No one stays away for long. And no one in all my life, or my death, is able to truly escape me.
Perhaps.
Don't be afraid. Save all your fear for when it's your turn.
Okay, sorry. There's Dee Dee. It's Dee Dee? Dee Dee? Oh, golly.
Oh,
I
the
didn't
pink
even
one?
call for Dee Dee, but like, yeah.
The purple one? The one with the fancy outfit. My other predator. She won't be able to help you. Not from this.
Like, okay. No, because there isn't anything to do about this. Well, I wish you the best of luck if you wish to resist the last order you are given. I know that Izori was able to resist the Berserker class.
This isn't an order. This isn't an order. I was made for this purpose. I just happened to give a little look like Miles. I'm not Miles, in case you're wondering. I am Death.
So, will you be killing yourself at the end as well?
Once I kill everything that is, every concept, every person, every man, woman, child, every god, every idea, everything, I'll take myself. The cycle won't restart. Because that is what I was made to do. And I will enjoy every bit of it.
Honestly, Honra is afraid, but Honra, in the end, the difference, like, either way, she's going to be disappearing. It's kind of sad that, like, there won't be a continuation. But probably to stay alive, she would probably be like, yeah, no, I'll work towards that goal. Absolutely. In the end, it works out. That's
Make sure you wrap your story up quick.
True.
Because it will end before the Grail manifests.
Oh, before the Grail manifests, he says.
Toodles.
I mean, she's not powerful enough to actually stab him, right? Nah, she's... Mikado Makune can stand up against him.
The world regains focus.
Dee, death has appeared to me. Perhaps I should have called you earlier, but I suppose I was too afraid.
Well, we've confirmed he's a problem, at least.
Did you witness any of that?
He made sure that I witnessed it, and that he saw me quite thoroughly. He's been injured recently by someone.
Most likely Kitamakune from another world. I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if I have that knowledge, but like it sounds like it, right? No, I don't know it from another world. I said most likely Kitamakune. So cut the another world out.
If he says it's true, we're just going to have to abide by his rulings. That's a little unfortunate, but what can be done is just to move it as a part of our plan. If you're going to die before the Grail manifests, then we simply just have to set up the Grail to still fulfill your wish anyways. He won't want the re-origination of the world. Being death is still quite easy to read. We just have to make it happen anyways, even if there's no one there to make the wish.
Honra has no clue how that would happen right now.
Don't forget, I was the one who put together the greatest contingency known to man.
What exactly caused this to happen?
I suspect it was the summoning of Miles and Nameless in the First War. Or perhaps a different event transpiring on a different world. The cause is less of an importance. It's just how we use it to our favor.
It sounds like she was just talking why he's here, but like, what made him death in the first place? What? Oh, she's died. Just like takes a second or two.
Yeah, Henry got pretty cut up by that edge.
Yeah, all that edge, I'm bleeding. I don't know. Honra doesn't know what needs to be done next.
Exactly what she was doing.
She read the note, quote unquote. Takes another look at it just to make sure it's that.
The picture at the end is the only thing you didn't see. The picture seems to have been taken from an angle. Death is in the corner of the screen, making a very happy face. And even just looking upon him brings that fear back. It's Oramos, with a couple other men, acting as a firing squad. There's a large amount of bound people with bags over their heads. Sandy terrain.
Yeah, that's priority number one.
If we want to be able to go that far, then I think both of us are going to have to go on a little trip.
Is she able to leave right now? Yeah, I guess there's no other choice. She kind of has to. I think we'll have to bring Diara along. The idea of doing so brings me anxiety and dread to have her see what Ormos has become. But at the same time, thinks about going back to Avier to be like, Avier, what the fuck do I do in this situation? The fuck is like morality?
I feel like it's important for them to solve their issues together. We just have to make sure to orchestrate it.
That is true. In the end, they're far closer than I am to either of them. And I am not against pain or death. Looks away from the photo, even though she was already looking away from the photo. As long as it's not like that.
Well, that's definitely something we're going to have to fix. As Dee Dee pulls out her magic wand, waving it
Oh,
lightly over the photo.
here. Oh, is it gone?
No, death is just replaced with a really, really, really unflattering picture of Miles regular.
I love it.
A little bit easier to look at without the spooky black cloak. Oh, he couldn't really afford the black. I guess he had to settle with gray. Very well. I'll be sure to get us some plane tickets here within the week.
I'll set up on what I need to do on my end to make sure that we're all ready for my departure. I'll probably want to tell Zori a bit more, or at least finish up that story.
Of course. You have your next prospect in mind. Let's get to it.
Ba-da-ba-cha! Let's go!
Mission complete.
Survive death. How much XP do I level up?
0.
I'm already max level at level 5. Let's go!
Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Follow the miasma, the gaseous form of plots that we have right here.
So,
Death
all
wants
the
to kill
plot.
everything.
Izori
Zori.
wanted to kill us, but no longer does.
We're trying to
We're
use the
trying to kill everything.
We're not killing everything, we're reoriginating it.
Ashton is around, I guess.
She's
Golly.
probably trying to kill everything. It's really just a
No, she
race
has
to
the
see who
aura
can
of
kill
death
everyone
that kills
first.
everything.
Yeah, we're just trying to kill everything first.
Yeah. Also, she's like, we just have to do this. How? You probably haven't handled, but what?
Yeah, just easy. Just do Dee Dee stuff.
Yeah, and like, to be fair, technically for Honra, it doesn't matter of like who wins in the end. So it's like, at the same time, like, yeah, I should probably see like, should I ask about that? Should I ask like what your plans are? Can I ask like, or are you keeping it secret so it doesn't spread?
I think her plans are to betray us last minute.
To be fair, that's not the worst thing.
It is to me. I can't. I can't lose here. If I lose here, what am I supposed to do?
I just imagine like Honra walking away from like Avier's door with just like the most wobbly legs. Serious face.
Avier secretly heard all that. She just pretended she didn't.
She doesn't have that much bravery yet.
I This is kind of what we're going to joke is a Holy Grail War simulator.
Huh? What was that?
This is a Holy Grail War simulator, but we're the bad guys.
Yeah, but we're the good guys. Who cares about the Shiro Emiya in the corner becoming a rapper? Doesn't matter in the slightest.
Welcome to the Holy Grail War. We have Rapper Shiro.
Woo!
An evil organization. Throwbacks.
Babers.
And a lot of freaking dialogue.
Woo! Is this, do you have something to do later? Is this where we're calling it out of curiosity? Is that like the end of episode?
That is the end of the episode.
Okay, cool. I don't tend to raid people after ending stream. Alright. Me about to like look up Sissy.
I mean,
But like,
I think Miro is doing something.
Mira's done, but now someone's playing. Autumn is playing Void Train. I'm gonna raid Autumn because Autumn.
That sounds about right. We lined it up perfectly, everybody. That's because we're all
perfect.
amazing.
Yeah, she just started 18 minutes ago, so it is perfectly.
That's how you know we're the cool ones.
Woo! Alrighty, give me a second. We're gonna set it up. Thanks for joining. I'm too mentally stopped in the brain space to actually like do a raid message, cause like I go in character. I was crying earlier. I was 100% actually crying, by the way.
So that's why you just say I was. That's your raid message done.
I was crying. No, I don't think. I think everyone's lurking right now, so it's just like passing all to my lurkers. Unless someone's about. Is someone about? Does anyone want to do a raid message? I assume everyone's just sleeping. Could be the VOD watchers.
It's going to be. It's going to be the Vault Man. The Vault
Hi, Emra,
Man.
how's it going? You're actually about to raid Autumn. Say hi, I guess. They're playing the Void Train.
You're like a train, but you know.
Just send hearts. That's the raid message actually. Just send hearts. Just send emoted hearts. Any emote heart you have.
And if you have like a really, really edgy catchphrase, do that.
Just any and all hearts. And a catchphrase. If you want to be like, the darkness of death is consuming you. Beware.
I plan to destroy everything.
In death, only they shall follow. Woo. Yeah.
When
great.
everything is left,
Right,
I will then turn on myself.
Let me just quickly deafen myself so I can interact, and I'll be back in 5 seconds.
Okay, I like that. I like that idea, that mechanic. Raymond! Hello. How you doing, baby?
Hello.
Baby! Could I get a shout out for Ray? Everybody go follow
Hello.
Ray. Do it right now. Do
How's
it right
it going? I
fucking
should
now.
end stream.
I'm not kidding around here.